Another concept of lean is 7 types of waste. Have you heard about this? 7 waste?
No, no.
Okay. So, so as per lean, there are 7 kind of waste in all the workplaces. And what they have done, they have segregated these waste into these 7 categories. Nowadays, there has been addition to it, and it has become eight types of waste. So first waste is a defect. So wherever you try to find out the opportunity for improvement, you need to look at the area where the defects are created, right? So defect is a waste because whenever a defect is made, then somebody would need to put in effort to do the rework to do the defect correction, right? Then another type of waste is inventory. Inventory is the excess production that you have done. So what has happened is, if I am a manufacturing hub, suppose I am uh, manufacturing boxes, right? And so I manufacture, let's say, about 50,000 boxes in a month, and I am only able to sell, let's say, 35,000. Right, so I would have excess inventory of 15,000 boxes. So what has happened? I have invested money to produce those additional 15,000 which I'm not able to sell, and then I would need a storage space to store those 15,000 boxes, which is excess inventory. So it is additional cost that I am incurring, one in producing those, and second in storing those excess inventory. So lean says you produce only what you can sell or only what you require. Then third kind of waste is motion. So motion is whenever, so any person is moving, to do the normal job. For example, walking, bending, twisting, looking for data, information. There is a motion. We're doing a lot of motion, and it constitutes to a lot of waste. So as an individual, you might only be because of searching for data, looking out for things and information. As an individual, you might be spending only 5 to 10 minutes. But then imagine if everybody in your organization, right? So let's say if there are 2,000 people working in the organization, and everybody is spending about 10 minutes, in finding out things, looking for data, information, basically in this motion waste. So imagine what is the 2,000 people. Oh, sorry. So just to give you a rough estimate, 2,000 people every day is 10,000 minutes, right? If I divide it by hours, it is 166 hours in one day, right? You work 5 days a week, and there are 52 weeks in a year. So about 43,333, right? We work 8 days a week, right? 8 hours a day.
Right. So if you worked 8 days a week, I was impressed.
So 8 hours a day would mean sorry, 43,333 is the amount of hours that we are spending in the entire year. If assuming that everybody is spending 5 minutes in motion, and there are about 2,000 people, right? So this is huge, if you look at it for the entire year perspective. And let's say $20 is the billing rate for these. So as an organization has wasted $866,000 a year only because of this 5 minutes per person of motion waste, right? So as a for one individual, it might not sound that alarming, but if you look at it, and if you add and consolidate it together, it actually makes a substantial difference. The fourth kind of waste is extra processing. Now this is a waste which is generally, we all, how many times does it happen? We have written a very big email, then we go back and check it once again whether everything is there or not, right? Does it happen with you? It happens with me a lot of times. So what am I doing is I'm extra processing. I'm looking at it again. I might be looking at it just to check if I have not done any errors or I have updated all the relevant information. But then, Lean believes in a concept of doing it right the very first time, right? So whenever we are processing extra or any additional features that we have put in something for which doesn't have any value to the customer, it is extra processing, right? Printing material, the duplicate entries that we have, it is extra processing. I'm using two presentations here, right, to give this training. What am I doing? Extra processing. Okay, so this is again a kind of a waste. And then the waste which is waiting, it's a no-brainer. Whenever you're waiting for work to be assigned to you, waiting for any approval, again it's a waste. Then we have overproduction. Overproduction, when you're producing more than what you require. So what is happening is overproduction is also leading to this inventory waste. Okay, then transportation. So there is a difference between motion and transportation. Motion is when you are moving to look out for things or for tools. Transportation is when the things move between one process or the other. So when you're trying to ship hard copies for signature, when you're trying to deliver the hard copies, those would constitute a transportation waste. So as for Lean, these are the 7 kind of waste that we need to look out for. Nowadays there has been addition to the 7 kind of waste, and the 8th waste is not utilizing the skills of the employee. So I'll give an example. So I've done a lot of Lean Six Sigma trainings, and I would have trained somewhere about 1,500 to 2,000 odd individuals, probably more than that. I'm not too sure if all 2,000 are actually working in Six Sigma domains, or all 2,000 have actually gone back to their organizations and initiated a Six Sigma project to save costs for their respective organizations. So what has happened is people have gotten trained, people have spent money, people have spent time, people have gained knowledge about tools and techniques, but then sometime in the organization they might have not got approval to go ahead and run a project for improvement. So what is happening is they have gained the knowledge, they have gained the skill, but it is not getting utilized by the organization. So it is again a waste, right? So not utilizing the skills of the employees is again the 8th kind of waste, which has been recently added to this list of types of waste. Okay, so when you create a value stream map, so value stream map typically is created in the manufacturing hub, but then again, like I said, all these tools can be customized per our own needs. So these are various symbols that you can use while you try to create VSMs. If you look in MS Visio, you would get all these symbols and everything, all the related containers and which are used in VSM. There is a separate section of value stream map in Visio. Okay, then the critical analysis, probably you would have heard about this. So there are various ways of digging out or finding the root cause. One is asking why many times. Then another one is what is being done, who is doing it, why, when are they doing it, where it is being done, and how it is being done. Basically asking questions to get to the root cause of a particular problem. Okay, and there is some measures or some calculations that is generally done in the value stream map. For example, tag time. Tag time is calculated as the customer demand rate. So which is generally calculated as available time that you have for production and the quantity required. So it will tell you what is your what should be your average rate of producing one unit, and then you measure for each and every unit that you're producing, and you see whether you are on track or not. See, Lean has focused. So Lean basically originated from Toyota. It used to be known as Toyota production model. So back, so initially what has happened was, Toyota was when they started the company, they they implemented these principles of Lean in their organization, and it was said that Lean is the best kept secret of Toyota. And they never used to expose these principles to people outside, but then there were some managers who joined from outside the country, outside Japan, and they got exposed to these principles, and then somebody wrote a book called Lean Thinking. That is when the world outside Toyota came to know about these things that they're doing. And Toyota became a big brand. They surpassed Ford in US at some point of time. They were able to keep their cost at a very bare minimum, and they were able to sell whatever they produced, no inventory whatsoever, right? And they made huge profits, and throughout the world they became a big and the known brand in very short span of time because of the practices that they implemented in their organization. And nowadays, if you go to any manufacturing industry, everyone is following lean principles and trying to adopt or and make themselves uh, trying to adopt these principles and implement in the work area, shop floor, or warehouses. Okay. Then the cause and effect diagram. You heard about cause and effect, right? The fishbone diagram.
Right.
So fishbone diagram or cause effect diagram, it is also called Ishikawa diagram, right? It is named after Kairo Ishikawa of Japan. Now, what this does is it's very simple diagram again. It initially started with 6 M's, man. So there are 6 pins, and when you do the brainstorming, it is generally used, when you have done the brainstorming. It gives a structure to the brainstorming. So you need to find out all the factors which are related to Mother Nature, which might be impacting on my project Y. All the factors which might be related to people, to machine, to material. So like that, you are able to categorize the major causes and identify the factors within those major causes or within those major categories which might be impacting on the project Y. These categories are man, method, machinery, material, Mother Nature, and there's 6th one as well, which is man, method, machine. I often forget because it has been customized so much. Nobody uses 6 M's anymore. People use their own categories. Not able to recall. I'll tell you, if it comes to my mind. Because here as well, they've only mentioned 5: man, method, machinery, material, Mother Nature. Yep. So there are 6 M's. I will tell you the 6th, if I'm able to recall that. Okay, here is an example of the cause and effect, and I think it is an example that probably you would be able to relate to: high abandonment rate. So this is generally for a call center or inbound center, wherein customer is calling you, calls are getting abandoned. So here is a cause and effect. The project Y is high abandon rate. What are the causes which might be leading to this high abandon rate? Right, increased ACW. So is one of the cause. So what is ACW? Is after call work. If somebody is actually spending time in the after call work, and person is not available to take the call, customer calls, there's no agent available to take the call would get abandoned, right? Increase in hold time. Again, increase in hold time is actually increasing the average handling time, and because of which again agents not available to take call, and you're getting high abandon rate. Right? Staffing and scheduling incorrect. You're not scheduled the right right number of staff to take the call. Change in the process, like that. You would capture all the causes which might be leading to this high abandon rate. So after you have done this, then what you would generally do in a Six Sigma project is you would take each and every cause and you would see, do I have data for this? If you have data, then you would do statistical analysis and hypothesis testing to validate if increased ACW is actually leading or impacting on the high abandon rate or not. And we will understand how we do that in the further slides. Are we good up till now, whatever we have covered?
Yep.
Okay, great. Pareto analysis. Pareto is again the vital few, and as I mentioned yesterday, it is named after Italian sociologist called Vilfredo Pareto. Now, there's a funny story. He came out with this Pareto principle, and so when he came out, the analysis that he came out with was that 80% of Italy's wealth was with 20% of people. So that was the analysis that he came out with long time back, and people realized that yes, it is true, and then people applied it in their own country. They found yes, it is true as well. Then people started applying it everywhere else, and that is when this rule got popular as 80-20 rule. And if you look at it, this rule still holds true. In every country, I would say 80% of wealth is still with 20% of people. The concept and the 80-20 might not always be true. Sometimes it might be 70-30, sometimes it might be 75-25. So the idea is to find the vital ones. So there are few factors which are causing the most impact. So we need to identify those vital fews and then take action on them rather than looking at all the factors, because attacking the vital fews will give us the maximum return. Okay. Do you know how to draw a Pareto?
I don't think I ever have drawn a Pareto.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and do that.